Some neighbor told us that she heard the screams, but she thought it was just some drunk guy making noise.
Msichana alikuwa tu polite, hakuwa na maneno mengi. Alikuwa tu msichana polite, hakuwa na story ya magombano na mtu.
The prosecution lined up 7 witnesses, among them the man who owned the butchery on the ground floor of the building where the couple had stayed for some time, and the caretaker who witnessed the movements of Michael days after Esther went missing. A police officer who visited the scene of the murder stunned the court with a detailed description of the scene that met him. The police officer told Lady Justice Grace Nzioka that they found the accused lying on a bed next to the badly decomposed body of the deceased.
So I was going to see the guy coming out, getting some beer across from the bars across, then go back, as if everything was normal.
Did they used to say hi? Hi, good morning or something?
He rarely greeted us. Once, good mood maybe, could say hi.
Upon trying to pull him off the bed, police noticed fresh blood flowing from his chest and realized that the accused had stabbed himself in the chest. Why was Michael stabbing himself and lying next to the decomposing body of his wife?
Wakati mwingine ukapata mzungu amelalia, amejidunga pia kisu.
Yeah, amejidunga pia kisu.
Wakati ameshadunga.
Hakuna kitu alikuwa anaongea. Alikuwa tu amejidunga kisu, amejikunja.
Kisu kubwa ndo.
Kisu kubwa.
Why had Michael not reported the murder to the police? And what was the German in national hiding? After a series of cross-examination sessions by the prosecution and the defense lawyers of the accused, Michael Rebecca Robel was placed on his defense, the court ruling he had something to do with the murder of his wife, Esther Munyi. In his defense, Michael told the trial judge that on December 5th, 4 days before Esther's death, they had gone out with Esther and the brother on a drinking spree. They later came home and the accused claims that he went to sleep, but not before hearing the deceased talking to a strange man.
Hapo mbeleni alikuwa na boyfriend mwingine alikuwa anakuja naye ama
ni huyo tu ndo mimi nilikuwa ninamwona naye.
Hakuna mwana mwingine.
Hakuna mwana mwingine nilikuwa ninaona naye. Ni huyo tu.
He claims that after a brief argument he fell asleep and has no recollection of what occurred later. A neighbor who did not testify in court told case files on the night the three came home, they heard a scream short of a distress call coming from Esther Munyi's house. The screaming was that of a woman in pain.
The neighbors used to say they used to hear some screams, and they were used to them. So even that day, they thought they were just normal screams, and once they hear it.
A pathologist who examined Esther Munyi's body told the court he had a difficult time conducting a post-mortem on the remains of the deceased because of the extent of decomposition Esther Munyi's body had undergone. In his findings, Dr. K.N. Mandalia told the court that Esther had died as a result of asphyxia, a condition arising when the body is deprived of oxygen, causing unconsciousness or death. But on cross-examination, the doctor conceded that there were no visible marks around the neck to suggest that the deceased was a victim of strangulation. But the doctor told the court that apart from the decomposing nature of the body, he noted signs of sexual activity. Her brain matter was also oozing from the ears. Pathologist had suggested that further tests be carried out on the tissue remains of the deceased, which will have determined if Esther was a victim of poisoning. The results returned a negative outcome. Esther had not been poisoned. How then did Esther meet her death? The judge then raised questions about Michael Robel's statement, which he termed a pack of lies. The judge questioned the German national's narration that the three, Michael, the wife and brother, had engaged in a drinking spree for a straight 3 days, terming the story as a lie. Michael had also told the court that on the supposed night when the wife died, he had had the wife pick a quarrel with a strange man. The judge trashed his narration, reminding him that by the time police officers were breaking into his house, the door was locked from the inside. Michael, the judge ruled, was a liar. The judge then turned on the prosecution, raising issue with the evidence they had relied on to prosecute the German national for the murder of his wife. Lady Justice Nzioka told the prosecution that the fact that the accused was the only person found at the scene of the wife's body, they still did not provide enough evidence to sustain the charge of murder against Michael Robel. Circumstantial evidence which will have somehow linked Michael to his wife's murder was also missing. Direct evidence where, for instance, the wife's body had strangulation marks or stabbing wounds will have led to his conviction. These two were missing. An initial police report also somehow exonerated Michael from the death of his wife. The report had indicated a depressed and a sick-looking suspect. Did Michael try to take his own life after realizing he had killed his wife? Even this, according to the trial judge, was not enough to have him convicted and sentenced to hang for her murder. The trial judge ruling, police failed to establish malice aforethought where a crime is meditated. The prosecution was accused of doing a shoddy job of preparing a proper psychiatric report detailing a case of unstable mental history of the accused. On the 7th day of November 2013, 5 years after the mysterious death of Esther Elsie Goki Munyi, Michael Rebek Robel was set free. The prosecution had failed to prove beyond reasonable doubt that the German national had anything to do with the murder of his wife. 9 years later, it is not clear what killed Esther Munyi. We might never know what exactly killed Esther Munyi, whose family members have since requested case files not to show his image on national TV. Michael Robel is still in Mombasa, and recently he was a guest of the state. Case files, Esther and Michael, is now a case closed. Denison Sarigo for Case Files.